Hey everyone, welcome back to Men Need to Be Heard, the channel dedicated to raising awareness on the issues that men and boys face in today's society. My name is Dan, and today I'm going to be diving into an issue that doesn't get nearly enough attention, which is the decline of male dominated industries and the opportunities that they provide in the U.S. There's been a lot of talk recently from the Trump administration about their goal of bringing manufacturing jobs back to the U.S., something I fully support and hope happens. And let me state up front, I don't want this to devolve into a political debate about Trump, as so often happens in these scenarios, which is why I'm asking that for the next few minutes you set aside any political differences, which often cloud discussions on issues such as this, and instead focus on the issue itself and why it's something everyone should be supporting, especially because in doing so, we could really help men. Over the past few decades, manufacturing jobs in the U.S. have steadily disappeared, and it is having a major impact on one group in particular: men. While, yes, there are many women who work in manufacturing, the truth is the manufacturing workforce is predominantly male. According to the U.S. Department of Labor, manufacturing jobs went from 17.3 million in the year 2000 to just 12.3 million by 2020. And a lot of this decline is due to automation and artificial intelligence, to be sure. But we can't ignore that many of these jobs were also moved overseas to places like China and Mexico. And let's be real for a moment. While automation and outsourcing are part of the equation, they aren't the only reason this issue is occurring. And the facts are the consequences are devastating and far-reaching. Entire communities built around manufacturing are hurting. Some have literally turned into ghost towns. Across the entire U.S., unemployment is up. Local economies are stagnating and social services are stretched thin. And the hardest group hit by a wide margin is men. And it's why you don't hear much, if anything, about it, because in the end, who really cares about men, right? Yet we should. In fact, we should be making it a priority because men matter. All men, but especially those who've been shoved aside. Men who for generations have defined their sense of self-worth through their work and who are now facing a massive identity crisis. Many are struggling to transition into new careers with almost no help being provided to them to help them transition. And the statistics back that up. Men who lose their jobs in these sectors have higher than average divorce rates and are more likely to unalive themselves. At best, most struggle with mental health issues for years. And it's no surprise why. They feel lost, isolated, and alone. And frankly, they have every right to feel that way because that's exactly what is going on. So what is being done to help? Well, the unfortunate truth is pretty much nothing. At least not much for men. President Biden, a few years back, told coal miners who were losing their jobs that they should just learn to code. Yet his administration never thought to provide any support for them to do so. In fact, not only did they not provide any support or funding to help these men, any funding that was given was directed entirely towards women. He even went so far as to create several government agencies to help women, with nary a one to help men. A beautiful example of this is the push to get women into STEM, which is fine and something that should be done, but where's the compatible push for men? While there are tons of initiatives encouraging women to get into STEM fields, which as I said is great, there's literally no encouragement, funding, or support to help men do the same. I ask you, why? Why are there no efforts to help men and boys adapt to the changing job market? When was the last time you saw a government program aimed at helping men transition into careers that are growing, such as education, nursing, or social work? Add to it, the educational system from K-12 through secondary school has completely and utterly failed men. It's shunned them, discouraged them, in many cases told them they're not even welcome. To say that the education system is missing the mark would be an understatement, and while we may want to believe it's an accident, The reality is, much of what is going on is deliberate. It's been known for decades that male students benefit more from hands-on learning. Boys are not biologically designed to sit still in classrooms for hours on end watching someone sit in front of a blackboard, as girls are. That method of teaching, which was instilled starting in the 70s to help even out education for girls, has in fact led to a complete flip-flop. Whereas in the 1960s, 60% of college graduates were men, now it's 60% women, and that spread is widening every year. Yet, nothing is being done. Hell, nothing is even being talked about regarding that fact. If anything, the educational system is working to hide that reality, which tells you how little they value boys and their education. Vocational training, which was a backbone of education for decades, has been set aside, ignored, and its funding cut. Not only don't we see enough programs, in many school districts, they don't even exist or barely do at all. Yet these training programs could go a long way to help men prepare for careers in growing industries like renewable energy, advanced manufacturing, or healthcare. And the worst part, when those programs do exist, they're almost always aimed at women and girls, not men and boys. And that's just not fair, nor does it address the realities or failures of the educational system. It is without dispute that men are being left behind with fewer job opportunities and less support to get back on track. And as I said, largely it is deliberate. If we want society to survive, if we want society to thrive, then we have to acknowledge that there is a problem, one that needs to be fixed. And let me reiterate what I said. This isn't just a personal issue. It's a societal one. As these men struggle, we all suffer. Their economic hardships are affecting families, communities, and the broader economy. Yet, nothing is being done. As I said, nothing is even being talked about. According to most politicians, the problem doesn't even exist. Or if it does, it's because men have become lazy, unwilling to work. That's a myopic viewpoint at best and doesn't reflect reality in any way. It's time we stop sticking our heads in the sand and start addressing these issues head on. So I want to talk about some of the things that we should be doing. First, bringing back manufacturing jobs, while something that does need to be done, isn't the complete solution. It's a start, and I hope the Trump administration follows through on it. But that alone isn't going to solve the issue. Let's face it, automation and AI aren't going anywhere. If anything, they're going to continue to grow. Thus, we need a comprehensive strategy to address the challenges facing men in the workforce. Here are 4 things that I think need to happen. First, we need expanded retraining programs. The government and private sector must work together to offer accessible retraining, one specifically designed for men to help them transition into fields that are growing. Next, and I think this is a big one, we need to promote heal careers for men at the very same level we've promoted STEM for women. We need to create initiatives that encourage men to pursue careers in health, education, administration, and literacy, fields that are not only projected to grow but dominate the job market in the coming decades, and ones that will offer stability for men, and at the same time, by the way, address critical shortages in those areas, especially with things like teaching and nursing. Next, we need to invest in vocational education. School districts need to rethink their approach to education, especially vocational and technical programs. Programs need to be created that focus on hands-on learning and career readiness, ones which better suit how men and boys learn. We need to break the near 100% focus of education on girls and acknowledge the needs of boys. Finally, we need to redefine success. Society needs to shift the narrative and value a wider range of career paths for men, not just tell them that they need to go make more money. No one would ever suggest to a woman that they should sacrifice their happiness, their health, and their overall well-being for their career. Yet, that's exactly the message men are given, literally from birth. We actually define men as a society not by who they are, but by the job they have and the money they make. We tell these men time and again that they exist to provide for others, and that their happiness, their sense of fulfillment, their sense of pride isn't something that matters. In fact, it's something to be abhorred. While we encourage women to fulfill their dreams and do jobs that make them feel accomplished, no matter how little they may pay, we tell men that they always need to be seeking more, that they need to sacrifice and do jobs they despise simply because they happen to pay more. Much has been said about the need to break the glass ceiling, but no one ever wants to talk about breaking the glass floor. Success shouldn't be about corporate ladders and factory floors. It should be about what a person wants to do, whatever that might be. And these are just a few ways we can help men adapt to a rapidly changing world. We need to invest in programs that will equip them with the skills for today's and tomorrow's workforce. And with the right support and opportunities, men can thrive in these fields. And that in turn will help the economy become stronger and more resilient, not just for men, but for everyone. So what do you think? Should we be doing more to help men transition into new industries and new careers? Let me know in the comments. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more discussions on men's issues and solutions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.